Welcome to my Fix a Leaky Tap for 50 cents. Might cost you a little bit more, but not much. Here we are, this is in my bathroom. Pretty typical in many households. You have the two taps there. These are known as compression faucets or compression valves, which means when you turn them off, you can kind of feel that it tightens up. So you have to, a little bit of effort to close the tap. You can feel it get tighter and tighter as you close the tap. There's different kinds, but this is very common. Now a lot of people look at this, their faucet is dripping, drip, 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 drip. They don't know what to do about it. They feel intimidated. Better phone a plumber. But you can do this on your own. And honestly, in the end, under $10 for sure. Very simple to do. Otherwise, it's going to cost you anywhere, I'm going to guess minimum $50, maybe up to $150 to really fix something that theoretically will cost you 50 cents to fix. As I said, probably a little bit more, but I'll stand by my 50 cents. I'll tell you why. Basically, I have pre-loosened everything just to speed up the process. And you're wondering right now, well, how do I get to this valve that needs to be fixed? On the end there, I'm pointing to it, there's a little cover, a little cap. Take a little screwdriver and you just get it in there and you can pop that off. It just pops off. And then the next thing, in the center there, there's a screw. I can't tell you which screwdriver to use because they're all different. Just get there's a center screw, counterclockwise, undo the screw, pull it out, and then try to pull the tap straight out, the handle there. You can jiggle it a little bit, but just try to pull it straight out. And then the last thing, you have to unscrew. It's just like a little decorative collar, not a big deal. You should be able to screw it off with your hand. Take that off and the little back plate, get it out of the way. And there's the actual valve exposed. At this point, have like a crescent wrench or an adjustable wrench. I mean, if you have one that fits, great. If not, these work great. You can just adjust it counterclockwise, loosen it up. As I said, I pre-loosened it a little bit, so pull out the valve. And the most common reason why the faucet is leaking is because there's a little piece of rubber right at the end there, and it's all worn out or it's disintegrated, whatever's happened, that's the problem. Here I'm comparing, there's a new valve. Now you don't have to buy a new valve. Normally you don't have to buy a new valve, but I do have one here just to show you. As you can see on the end, it's a nice big rubber seal there. And the other one, hard to see, but it's basically gone. So all you have to do normally is take that screw out, use a screwdriver of course, I loosened it previously. Take the screw out, take that little rubber, the old rubber piece off, go to the hardware store. Hopefully there's someone around to help you, make it easier, but if there's no one there, a lot of packages have a little guide on the back. It will tell you what size you need to buy, so you reference that little chart on the back. It will say, you know, probably 3/4, and then find the right little rubber seal for it. And you just simply buy that package, take out the seal, put it on there, screw it back on, just opposite of how I took it off, and pretty much there you're ready to go. But there's a few little things you need to think about. In my case, I had to use a new valve because the threads on my valve were all broken, or not broken, but worn off. It wouldn't screw back in. And the other thing that you need, I just showed you the Teflon tape there. I cut a little piece off, and the key is to put the Teflon tape on properly. And what the Teflon tape does is help to seal those threads so that water doesn't leak where the threads are. but you need to put it on properly, so this is an important little part. So hold your valve there in place, and let's get this lined up. So put the tape sort of at the top and direct it away from you. So just feed the tape around on the threads. Sort of put a little pressure, snug it up on the threads. And the reason is because if you put it on the wrong way, since you're going to turn this valve in clockwise, if you turn it in clockwise and it's on, if you don't put it on the proper way, it's just going to like make the tape come off. It's just going to roll the tape off. So you need to put it on the right way so that it sort of goes with the flow of the tape. I hope you kind of know what I mean there. And basically you just screw that back in, and we'll get our adjustable wrench out here, tighten it in, move along, and once it starts getting, I mean, you'll know, you kind of snug it up, keep turning it in, get it snugged up. This shouldn't be hard to do, like you shouldn't have to be grunting and groaning here. You just kind of keep spinning it in. Then there'll be a point where it really tightens up. And once that happens, just give it a little bit extra of a turn. Don't go crazy on it, like don't be pulling on things really hard and screwing this in too much, because you're gonna end up damaging something, and if you damage things, then you're going to be in a bad situation. So just snug it up, give it a little bit extra. As you see, I didn't really, you could tell I wasn't really struggling to put that in, right? So it's very important. I'm sorry I'm stuck on this topic, but people over tighten things. So here we are, we're all set to go here. Let's just start putting this back together. Just put the back plate on. Screw on that little collar. And pretty straightforward here. We're just going to end up putting the tap back on. And of course there's that screw that goes in the center once I get this on here. And again, it's clockwise to tighten that up. Don't over tighten it, because we're dealing with brass and plastic products. You don't want to damage things. Tighten them up snug. If you're grunting and groaning trying to tighten something, I guess what I'm saying is that you're trying too hard. And as we're moving along here, just as a pointer, if you want the valves in your taps and compression type valves to last a long time, don't over tighten them. Just on a side note, growing up, my dad always used to mention to us in a kind way, who tightened this tap so much? Because, you know, basically if you over tighten the taps on a compression valve, you're going to ruin the seal and they're not going to last very long. So just something to pay attention to. When you're closing or turning off your water, don't over tighten it again, because you've damaged that little piece of rubber in there. Okay, so it's all done. That was pretty simple, super simple. Anyone can do this. Go ahead and go downstairs or wherever your water supply is to the house, turn that back on, turn on the water, let it run for, you know, a minute or just a few seconds, whatever. Get the water going. Turn it off, and make sure it's not dripping anymore. And you know what? 99.9% of the time, your dripping faucet is now solved. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Just so super simple to do. Have a great day. Please like and subscribe. Come back for more. If you have questions, put them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. Thank you very much.